All right, and welcome everybody back to yet another match here in this year's 5USC 2025. We are in the round of 16. This is the Major League, and we are in the winner's bracket here. This is going to be a matchup between Seed 8 Indiana A and Seed 9 South California A. My name is It's Pigeon, and today I am joined by Valine. How are we doing?
I mean, I'm currently cutting my nails, but this should be a cinema match between these two closely contested teams that will eventually have to meet Georgia in the quarterfinals, one of them at least. But for now, this will be an exciting match. I hope it would be. No sweeps or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not expecting any sweeps here. I do think these two teams are very prepared for this match. These are two of the stronger seeded teams, despite being in the Seed 8, Seed 9 teams. I do think that these are some of the dark horses of the tournament. Indiana especially is the team that surprised a lot of people coming so low seeded as they did. Just a really incredible roster, but as well as the South California roster with all the different skills that they cover is very strong as well on some of the stuff that Indiana is pretty weak against, specifically a lot of the hidden picks and the reading picks. I do think South California is going to try to lean more heavily into, whereas Indiana is going to try to lean into some of the hard rock double time, just keep it with the mechanics stuff with players like JP Cantwell and other Bubble and Shrek Farm who really shine on some of the mechanics stuff.
Yeah, and we'll see a lot of those aspects of their skill sets once we see the bands after this warm-up. Yeah, as you mentioned, the hidden will play an important part for SoCal, so they would hope to not get most of their hidden banned, but there's also the Fremont that they can lean towards. But also, Indiana can lean on towards that Fremont as well. It's just closely contested for that section of the map pool.
Yep, definitely maybe closely contested here. I do believe this is SoCal's warm-up, so this one's coming to a close shortly, and I am spoiled on what the Indiana warm-up is going to be. It's a short one, so we won't have to wait too long for the ban phase here, but it is just a reminder, we are in the round of 16, so we are at best of 11 here, first to 6, and I do believe it's double bans as well, since the pool is so big, so it's going to be potentially a long match if this one goes the distance. Tiebreaker's pretty awesome, and there is a custom this week, I believe only one in the hidden one.
Yes.
So, but I do have some insider information. I don't think we're going to be seeing hidden one picked here.
Oh, really? Why so?
I do believe Indiana is going to ban hidden one.
I mean, you're facing against one of the best hidden players in this tournament, Toro Inoue being one of them. It's understandable that you want to ban him. And some players from Indiana have teamed with Toro Inoue in 5WC, specifically 5WC C team. Shrek Farm and Superlive being one of those players, two of those players that team with him. So they are very familiar with Toro Inoue and their hidden ability. So it's understandable they would ban the hidden one.
Yeah, is most likely going to be the ban, but yeah, we're just filling time here while we await the warm-ups for other team here. That was SoCal's warm-up, so hopefully we can get into this shortly. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the players here. I've already spoke a little bit about some of the players on Indiana, but for the side of SoCal A, there's a lot of Neo Blazers on that team, none of which are the actual Neo Blazer, the original one, which is 23. So as you said, there's Toru. There's
Toro and Toru.
Yes, Toro and Toru.
Yeah.
Then we have Boombox, Short, Billathon, Jake Katie, and one other Neo Blazer.
Yeah.
I don't know who Neo Blazer 22 is.
22 is Jake Man, the doctor.
Jake Man, yes.
Jake Man. Boombox is actually Toro Inoue.
Okay.
Neo Blizzard 21 anymore, but there should be a Neo Blizzard command. I don't know if it works for this new channel because we just created this new channel for this specific time because of the Ace stream being like pretty close right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of close matches going on right now here. As you said on the A stream, I think it's the Washington match that is really going the distance. So if you are interested in that, I do believe there's a multi-stream link for all the various streams that are happening right now. I do believe there are 5 of them that are happening. No, make that 6 currently.
Yep, 6.
I see 6 VCs with 6 different streams ongoing. So that's just because some of these matches, if they're close, they are going to go a long way here. But
Yeah.
this is going to be not the warm up that I thought it was going to be. Only 2.5 minutes. So the one that I thought it was going to be was, I think, like 50 seconds. So this is going to be a little bit longer before we get into the pick ban phase.
Yeah, this one, I mean, the reading pick, I think I can assume that it could be SoCal that picked this warm up. Just to warm up on the reading. As well, Toru, that's a player you should keep an eye on, as that is their main reading less easy player there. But that's going to be supporting Toru Inoue greatly in terms of their reading picks if they don't get banned.
Yeah, this the SoCal team is pretty scary on these reading picks. I think it's to be expected for a lot of these players to put up some really impressive team scores here, especially on the reading maps. And while Indiana has players who are specifically on the team for stuff like the easy stuff, like some of the more reading heavy dense maps like the hidden twos, or maybe later in the tournament something like nomad sixes, whatever. I don't think, even if it's like a 6-way FC, I think accuracy is going to always favor South California, just because those players are so much more comfortable on that specific skill set.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what else South California could lead towards, maybe towards the Nomad. The tapping is going to be a little bit interesting between these two teams as well. But I would maybe anticipate a tapping ban from SoCal, or a Hard Rock ban. Is one of those two, maybe even both.
Yeah, I think respecting this Indiana's capability to play a lot of the mechanics-based picks, like the tapping stuff, like some of the speed stuff, some of the precision in the Hard Rocks. This Indian team really excels at that. When you have one of the best 5-digit Hard Rock players on your team in JT Cantwell, it's always up for debate whether or not you should just ban one of the Hard Rock maps just to kind of take that away from them, not let him do some silly shenanigans. But there are plenty of options for them to go. I could definitely see stuff like Hard Rock 2 ban against this Indiana team. I could see potentially something like a DT2 as well. Although this week's DT2 is kind of interesting because it's timed kind of weird. It's a lot of changing time BPM in it, so it does make it a little bit uncomfortable with it being on DT. So I'm not sure if that one's going to get left open here, but we will see, as now warm-ups are over and we are going to get into this match here shortly. Picks and bans are going to come after the rolls.
Yes, and about that DT2 is also more stamina heavy as well, so you can probably see a SoCal ban on that if they're not comfortable with the tapping. Noma 2 also being a little bit more stamina heavy, but it's just more on the flow side as well. And we're now seeing the rolls, and we can see that Indiana has won their rolls 80, so now they have the opportunity to pick their pick order or ban order.
Yeah, generally, it's always better to go second ban if you're wanting to do the ban order, or second pick if you're wanting to do pick order, because if you go second ban, then that allows you to potentially get a map that you would already ban banned from your opponents, and then if you go second pick, then you are guaranteed to have the final pick if it goes the distance.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I just came back from throwing something away.
Oh, no worries.
My nails.
I was just I was explaining the reasoning behind why you would want second pick versus second ban.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at stats here, 8th, 9th seed, like, what can you do? There's no point in that stat comparison, maybe. But there is the interesting fact that SoCal did get number 3 on easy 1 and hidden 1, number 6 on that hidden 2, while Indiana did get number 4 on easy 1, number 5 on hidden 1. So this is going to be really close into the hidden, but hidden 2 will be a little bit of a struggle for Indiana as they did get number 12. So I could expect a ban from them over there.
Yeah, the Hard Rock 2 is going to be the first ban here, as we predicted, for this SoCal team, just giving a lot of respect to Indiana's Hard Rock roster and just how good they are. And we aren't going to be seeing the hidden 2. Indiana, of course, giving respect to the SoCal's reading roster, which is one of the best in the tournament, if not the best in the tournament. So we will see what I think is it ABBA? Yeah, it is. So
Yeah.
Indiana is going to get to ban another map, and they're going to go with the hidden 1 here. So yeah, as I predicted, I did have the insider information. I knew these were going to be their 2 bans. They're just really giving a lot of respect to the SoCal team, and with a map as tricky as the hidden 1, yes, it is the custom, and it's unfortunate that we won't see it. It definitely favors the SoCal team heavily.
Wait, what was the second ban of SoCal? We didn't see that second ban. Oh, there
we haven't seen
Nomad 2. Then.
Nomad 2.
Okay.
So getting rid of tapping, as you had mentioned.
Yeah, so you do have tapping players in Crucible and Toru. Toru is also a breeding player and tapping player. It's just a matter of who the third would be in terms of the tapping, so it might be a little bit of a struggle on the DD2 if it's get picked by Indiana. Because I wouldn't imagine SoCal picking it.
Yeah, and I think Indiana is like kind of struggling to figure out who should play in some of these tapping maps because they have so much tapping with Shrek Farm and Other Bubble and Marvin Frags, as well as JT at points. There's a lot of leeway for who they can swap in and out, so Nomad 2 is a pretty good ban here for SoCal. I do like the bans for both sides. I think they make a lot of sense. Just really giving a lot of respect to these teams.
Yeah, and also, even though DT2 is, like, in my opinion, one of the only real tapping maps, including Nomad 2, DT3, it's just consistency with burst. That DT and that Premium 1, there are like bursts as well, mainly a lot of them towards the end, but it's not really like a speed map, in my opinion. It's more like an alt map with just burst. So if Indiana are gonna pick on those like Premium 1s and DT3s, it's gonna be a bit difficult to go against that SoCal team, because it's gonna be very close, I would imagine.
Definitely going to be close. This SoCal team still has good gimmicks to pick into, but we aren't going to be seeing that to start this one off. We're going to go with some alt here. What is traditional snap alt in this Nomad 3 is going to be the first option.
Yeah, there's just a combination of snap, a combination of flow, and just a tiny bit of reading. There are some parts where you can throw people off. But if you really practice the map, if you get tunnel vision as well with your nerves, then you can pretty much hit a lot of them easily.
Yeah, definitely. And this is one of the longer maps in the pool. It's not the longest. I think that goes to Hard Rock 3, which is almost 5 minutes in length. But this is still 3 minutes, 20 seconds of drain time. So it's going to be a heavy consistency check here too. Yes, this is CS 3.8, which is slightly below average in terms of circle size here, but I do think that it is hard enough that we aren't going to be seeing like 6-way FCs here between these teams.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's also some of those slow parts as well that I can imagine people could be missing on if they don't read it properly. Because a lot of you want to hit those slow parts, you gotta read it properly as well.
GLHFs are coming out here. We are going to get into map number 1. This is SoCal's pick on Nomad 3. Do think Indiana has a good shot of getting a breakpoint here. We're going to see Other Bubble, JT Cantwell, and Shrek Farm for their roster. JKD, Mule Blazer 20 and 22. I'm just not going to remember it. I'm really not.
Do we have the Neo Blazer command in this new Twitch chat?
Oh, do we?
I mean, there is one in A, B, and C, I believe. 22 being Jake Man. 20, I think, is Sean. I need to check real quick now.
I don't think we do in this chat, but...
Okay, yeah. And this is it's like a really new one, so it's fine.
It's gonna be Shrek Farm first to fall here in this one. It's gonna give a slight score lead to SoCal, but again, this is a longer map, so there's gonna be plenty of time for Indiana to recover.
Yeah, and right now it's not really in the hard parts of the map because it will be a slow start for this map. And right now, act check wise, they're pretty much even.
Yeah, it's looking relatively straightforward here, but we do get trades coming now for these two teams. Neoblazer 20, Jake Man going to be dropping the first 4 SoCal's remaining combos. It does get traded out by the other bubbles, so that was one of the 2 FCs left on Indiana, so that is going to put them more at a deficit here going out of this first PI section. And all players do hit the doubles. It was another miss from Jake Man, but still, for the time being, 30,000 points in favor of SoCal.
Oh yeah, Jakeman is Neoblazer 22, sorry.
Oh, 22? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, 20 is Sean.
20 is Sean.
But we do see a Shrek farm miss, and those misses earlier from the other bubble and Sean from that flow part, I did mention that it's going to be pretty difficult on that flow. You're like pretty nervous as well. You can't read it properly.
This is looking pretty good here for first pick for SoCal. Only about halfway through the map, so there's still plenty of time for anything to happen here. Indiana can definitely come back, but they have to hold on to these recoveries. It was an unfortunate miss from Shrek Farm again. It was about 300 combo ago, and no trades for SoCal on that. So in the second PI now, still going to be seeing all players holding on to their combos, and it's really going to come down to, are these 2 players going to be able to hold for much longer here on SoCal, and that will secure them the point, as we do see some more misses here from Sean.
Yeah, and Shrek Farm doing well with his recovery, especially the other bubble as well, so they can kind of bring this back, but there's still the FC coming in from both Jake Man and JKD, countering that JT Cantwell FC, so they would need to really pull their... Oh, but there's the miss from Jake Man, so this is a chance actually for Indiana to come back. That 100k score difference is going down rapidly.
Yeah, this is the opening that Indiana needed. That one miss on one of those 2 FCs was all that they needed to get the score gap from over 100,000 down to 40,000. JT's still on the FC. The other bubble is on a huge recovery, and Shrek Farm as well. Nobody's really matching either of those 2 recoveries, and that is why we have seen the score lead go now over to the side of Indiana. And there goes Jake Man once again. Still no trades to be seen on the side of Indiana, and what was a 100,000 score lead plus for favor of South California is now about 100,000 score lead for Indiana here at the end of the map, and this is going to be a break point.
Yeah, and honestly, those recoveries from the other bubble and Shrek Farm really brought this back, and that unfortunate miss from Jakeman just costed them this point, and already a break point.
Very unfortunate timing to miss. Just capped his score completely, and it was just a slider break too. Best accuracy in the lobby by far at that 99.37. No one else above 99. The next highest was going to be the other bubble at 98.91. But yeah, Jake Haiti dropping the FC, and Jake Man not able to get the full combo. Still such an impressive team score from SoCal. It's just unfortunately they weren't able to get it done in the end, and Indiana starts this one off with a quick break point.
Oh, that is very interesting. Indiana did not bend it easy.
No, they did not. I was thinking
Very
about that too.
interesting. So SoCal does have that reading pick that they can lean towards if they want to bring this back instantly. As it really isn't.
Yep.
Your nerves don't really affect your aim in like the reading because the CS is really high, but it affects your reading a lot. So if you're really confident in your reading and this team is really good at it, then I would imagine them picking it next.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much to our streamer. I don't know if you guys in the chat have noticed, but our streamer has kindly put the Neoblazers and their relative usernames that are not Neoblazer in the bottom right of this stream. So if you ever get confused as to who is playing at what time, because it's very confusing, please refer to the bottom right as DP2 gets picked.
Yeah, the Toro, as we would mention earlier, is not Neoblazer25 anymore, but Boombox. And there's the DT2 pick, as I predicted from Indiana to pick it. And this is going to be quite the struggle for SoCal if they don't have a solid third for this.
Yeah, this could be a very quick consolidation on the breakpoint if SoCal is not prepared for this tapping pick. You have to imagine that they opted to not ban it because they felt like they could get decent enough scores on this map. This is a hard DT2. I would argue it's one of the hardest maps in this round of 16 pool. So it's going to be really favoring some of these skill cap players like Toru, like Marvin Frags, who are very easy full combo potential for either of these two teams. It just is going to come down to the supporting scores here for these teams.
And yeah, and then there we go. We see Toru and Crucible, the expected two players from SoCal to be in for this tapping map. But who is their third to really cover this? Because Indiana's core for tapping there is very flexible. They can put in any roster to really counter any like the speed teams out there. One of the best, even.
Yeah, definitely top contender for one of the better teams in the tournament on these tapping mechanics maps. Some of these speedier picks, and this one is fast. It's 225 BPM, which, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fast BPM, especially for this stage of the tournament. And as I said earlier, this is also variable BPM, which means it's changing slightly. So sometimes it's 219 for a couple of measures, and sometimes it's 240 for a couple of measures, and that can really impact your accuracy here in this map. But we're gonna get into this one. This is map number 2, Indiana's pick, and already starting us off is Crucible on a miss.
Ooh, maybe just not enough time for warm up, but at the moment, just getting comfortable with maybe the air, maybe having the BPM as well. But I would like to see a lot of the breaks coming in to be from like slider breaks, as that could happen a lot with these kick sliders that happen a lot in this map.
Yeah, definitely good opportunities here for recovery. Those early misses, probably just a sign of getting into your first map of the match, or maybe a little bit of nerves. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's good recovery now, and so that score lead is 100,000, and it's gonna go up more with Toru dropping the full combo as well. So now it's only down to Jakeman on the lone FC for SoCal. Good recovery from Neoblazer, or from Crucible, and there was the trade finally from the other bubble, so that is gonna help negate the score lead for the time being.
Yeah, those two breaks from Toru and the other bubbles, I expected it to be those slider breaks, and it was slider breaks, so we could be expecting to see like a lot of S ranks here if they do keep on missing on those sliders. But right now, Indiana, they're getting those two SC, but never mind, Marvin Price is missing, and for chasing, that's a full combo reset from Indiana.
A complete combo reset here for Indiana, and that's going to be a huge swing in the score momentum here. SoCal climbs up. It was 100,000 deficit, now 250,000 in favor of them. We do see the final FC drop on Jakeman, but all combos now reset on the side of SoCal, so 300,000 is going to be too much for Indiana to recover here at this point in the map, and yeah, this is going to be another breakpoint right back for SoCal.
Yeah, and honestly, a better act average too on the side of SoCal with that 96% on both Toru and Neoblazer 2022. I mean 22, sorry. Not the year 2022. But never mind, no S ranks coming in.
Yeah, no S ranks. Was a one miss on Toru and one miss on Forteste, but still not going to be enough for them to get that S rank. With you need slider breaks, obviously.
Yeah.
So a little bit unfortunate here for Indiana. I do think the pick idea was good, but the execution just wasn't quite there, and SoCal definitely was prepared for that. They probably predicted that Indiana was going to pick this. They left it open. They knew that they had a good shot at getting it, and they did.
And already, these two teams just picking but not getting their own point is already 2 breakpoints in this matchup. It's already going to be looking like a cinema match, maybe potentially going to tiebreaker. But right now, SoCal, they have that easy pick that they can lean towards, so maybe there won't be any more breakpoints from their pick moving forward, but who knows in this close-up match.
I like to see teams pick a map and win on their own pick. It doesn't always go that way, as we've seen so far in this match. Back-to-back breakpoints here. But yeah, it is going to be the easy one. You had to imagine that was going to be the pick, like, much sooner rather than later. Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't first picked here from SoCal, but yeah, very obvious choice from them. This is such a strong reading roster. We've been talking them up this whole time. This is a really, really scary reading roster, and Indiana has a good reading roster. As you mentioned, they had one of the highest scores on the qualifiers for the easy map, but this SoCal team is scary to have to face and match.
Yeah, I would be expecting Toru Inoue, and Jakedi in for, yep, I will. There's Crucible as well. He can play the easy if he wants to, but I would imagine he would have his main reading player, Toru, going in for him. Jake, man, what? Where's Toru?
Oh, you might see them hop back in. Maybe practicing. Of course, we can't see all the other slots, so
Yeah,
could be sitting in the lobby right now.
because Toru is like their main reading player. But if they do feel comfortable, maybe like the other players in their team do feel comfortable, and if they practice, then they can allow it.
Oh, it looks like they are locked in. GLHFs are being sent in the chat. Do you think this is going to be the roster here for SoCal? So, not the roster that we were expecting, but still a very impressive roster to field on this easy one. As we see Jake, Katie, Boombox, and Jake Man on the side of SoCal. For Indiana, we've got Shrek Farm, Super Alv 123, and the other Bubble here. And I do think this one slightly favors SoCal, but if they're not careful, they can definitely slip up and let Indiana take this one. We'll see.
Yeah, and also that score multiplier isn't really that high, especially with easy mod, and not seeing Toru in for Soka is kind of surprising. But right now, all that matters is just getting those high combos in this easy to get those. I mean, even if they feel like small score differences, it's pretty high for easy.
Yeah, gonna be starting this one off relatively slow. There's not too many tricky reading patterns here at the very beginning of the map, and all players not getting caught up on anything yet so far, but now we get into the first KI section. This is where we start to see some more doubles, a little bit more starts and stops, and accuracy is going to be slightly in favor of SoCal still, despite there being no breaks on either side.
Yeah, and right now, yeah, there's just no breaks in this first KI at the moment. Pretty equal from all players and from both teams. So first KI almost finishing up, and no breaks.
Yeah, and this is a pretty easy section relatively. It's just triples here, so no real reading. And they're gonna see that SoCal has the accuracy advantage, so they have the 16,000 point lead, but it can really just make or break if one of these players on either side ends up missing. It'll definitely decide the winner very quickly, as we are getting into some more. Actually, this is still a pretty calm section here. Still free combos here for SoCal to build up more accuracy, and no players getting caught up on that pattern. Is just pretty straightforward. But yeah, second KI is coming up, and I don't think we're going to be seeing any misses, but if we do, it could be bad.
Yeah, and those misses are mainly going to be coming from misreads, not really aim, as your nerves will affect your reading a lot in this kind of map. And right now, in the second KI, approaching the fourth of the way through the map, the last fourth, we have not seen a miss yet, but that act advantage for Soka is getting them towards their own point, but we can't really confidently say, but there it is, there's a miss from Indiana. Now it's going to be solely on Soka's hands for this point.
Yeah, definitely going to be the nail in the coffin here for SoCal getting this point. Is unfortunate that Super Alv was not able to get the full combo, and I do think we are still going to see 5 other FCs on this map. Yes, we are. And that just goes back to what I said earlier, right? I was saying this Indiana team, yes, they could also 3-way FC and match the 3-way on SoCal, but ultimately at the end of the day, what we saw happened, what I predicted, SoCal will just get better accuracy, and they do. 1x100 on Jakeman, 2x100, 1x50 on JKD, 12x100 on Boombox, and they're all better accuracies than any player on the side of Indiana. So just a really solid performance here and an insane team score, honestly, from both teams. That Indiana team score, any other team, they probably beat.
Probably, yeah. And honestly, a really good pick for SoCal. And they didn't really need Toro after all for that easy pick, but now Indiana, they would have to now win their own pick now. SoCal, they did their job and got their own pick. So now what will we see from Indiana? Maybe a Fremont 1, maybe a DT3, but I'm not sure. Maybe even Precision. Nomad 5 is still open.
Yeah, I think Nomad 5 is an option for them, but I do think they're going to be sticking with the Hard Rocks with the double times. The only Hard Rock that is banned is the Hard Rock 2, so there's still one, and they still have Hard Rock 3. I believe there's 3 Hard Rocks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's 3 Hard Rocks.
Yes, there are. And then I do think this SoCal team, they did win on the DT2 pick. So they are pretty good at that tapping, but there's not really any full-on tapping left in this except for DT3. And, you know, as you've been saying, it's really not that heavy on the tapping. So we'll see where Indiana wants to go with this, but we're going to have to see the pick come soon, and it's going to be the Hard Rock 1 here. So going with the aim consistency Hard Rock.
Yeah, aim consistency and also a little bit of an awkward aim as well. And it's pretty deterministic in terms of aim. Like last week's Hard Rock 1, there was a little bit of funkiness in the slider and also the reverse sliders as well that a lot of people did slider break on. And like the score average on that Hard Rock 1 was pretty low for a round of 32 Hard Rock 1. But this one, I would imagine a really high average for Hard Rock 1, as this one is more approachable in terms of the aim, because this is simply just more aim and no like funky sliders in. But for now, the rosters for SoCal, I would assume maybe Jake Man, Crucible definitely, and I think JKD JKD might be in for this as well, as she has made quite the evolution in terms of her playstyle. I think getting close to like top 3 in her tryouts, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see. As aside for Indiana, JD Canwell obviously being in. We can also probably see maybe Shrek Farm as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, but this time Sean going in over. Oh, but Jake went okay, there's JKD.
Yeah, JKD gonna be the 3rd here for SoCal, as you predicted. And yeah, I do think it's gonna be probably Shrek Farm for Indiana. It could also be the other bubble, and it is going to be the other bubble coming in. Bubble not necessarily known for their hard rock skills, but when it comes to aim, they are very comfortable on that. So
yeah,
this makes a lot of sense, and especially with such an awkward aim style map as this hard rock 1, that other bubble would want to play this. But it's going to be Fortise and JT Cantwell going to be rounding out the other 3 for Indiana as we get into map number 4 here. Hard rock 1.
Yeah, Hard Rock 1. It's just a matter of who can aim more consistently and just not get thrown off, because you don't really misread on this kind of map. AR-10, deterministic aim. It should be some high scores from both sides of this match.
Yeah, I do expect SoCal to be prepared on this one, as we have seen so far in this match. They've put up pretty great scores overall, so it's going to be interesting to see. And for the time being, it's actually just going to be a little bit of accuracy disparity here between these 2 teams. It's going to be favoring Indiana because of the 2 bottom scores. Their accuracy is so much higher than anyone else in the lobby, but a little bit of struggle from Fortise, I think, dropped down to about 91 here at the start of this map, and has recovered to about 95, and is kind of just matching on Schwartz Billison. That is Toro, right?
New was 20 is Schwartz, or Sean. 24 is Crucible.
Sean. 20 is Sean.
Yeah,
it's going to be a first drop here from Fortise. So that is going to help this SoCal team to get this score lead now up to 50,000 here, as JKD finally ends up trading. So that is going to put a stop to this scored lead, as there's still these 2 combos on the side of Indiana, but make that 1 now as other bubble ends up dropping. So not going to get traded by anybody on the side of SoCal yet. So that is going to continue to give them the score lead.
Yeah, and I'm noticing those misses from Fortese and the other bubble were from shakes. Like those cursor movements they aren't really as steady as you would like them to be on this Hard Rock 1. You have to really keep this going straight, but now we have to see a Sean miss. Maybe a little bit of unfortunate miss or slider break, but I couldn't tell. But other Bubble trading it off, so it's just really one FC versus one FC, and it's already 130k score difference.
130k is definitely comebackable here.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, it's just down to these two FCs, one per team, and if either of them breaks, that score will very heavily go one way or the other. And the first to fall is going to be JT Cantwell here in this guy section, and that's going to be no combo on the side of Indiana. Other Bubble going to be dropping, and down goes
Crucible.
Crucible. Oh my goodness. Crucible finally drops the last remaining FC, so nobody is going to be FCing, but you have JKD on the recovery, you have Sean on this 300 combo recovery. Neither of them are being matched by any player on Indiana, as continues to be breaks from all players, and just a complete fall apart here systematically on this map, and this is going to be a very easy break point for SoCal.
Yeah, and especially for this length of a map, any big combo can really affect that score difference, and Indiana might be shooting themselves in the foot there on that pick. It was a little shaky coming in for Forteza and the other Bubble, but SoCal, they have the opportunity to just snowball their lead with their own pick next.
This is a very big momentum swing here for SoCal, winning their second pick on the easy one and winning off the first breakpoint from the DC2 pick from Indiana, and now winning this breakpoint on the Hard Rock 1. Don't know where SoCal is wanting to go next, because they're kind of out of reading options outside of the anti-mod free mod, which they could probably go for if they want to, but that one, I think this week, that's not even AR8, is it?
Yeah, it's not AR8. It's kind of a half anti-mod, but also SoCal can lead towards a hidden 3, as they've seen Indiana Ben both hidden 1 and hidden 2, but that hidden 3 is more snap alt, and there's no really like flow hidden that you can really mess up on easily with your nerves. So they can lead towards that Prima 2 or that hidden 3. That Prima 2 being, yeah, just a little bit of reading, but not really AR9. But it's mainly like hidden no mod favored. The Harvard players are gonna have a hard time on that Prima 2 if they decided to pick it.
Yeah, I mean, this could be very huge for SoCal. Already having 2 breakpoints, and they are gonna go with that free mod 2 here in Romance. Got Arimaru. Absolute banger of a song, and honestly a pretty great map. I don't think we'll see any easy shenanigans on this. There's
might
a
be
possibility we do.
Higher chance than SoCal,
I
not
want
Indiana.
I want to say we won't.
But yeah, there is a higher chance to see easy on SoCal than Indiana. I think Indiana should play it safe, especially when they're down 2 points. So maybe a player that can play really well on a Nomad can really help them out. And if there is an easy, they would really need to step it up in terms of getting that high score to counter that 2.4 score multiplier.
Well,
for easy.
Yeah, I see what you mean. If there was an easy on the other team, yes. And so I think because it is 2.4x multiplier, right, the incentive to play easy is much higher, especially if you've practiced it. But this map is a lot harder on easy than the easy one in this week's pool. I do think that this one is a lot harder to be able to access in terms of skill for just being good at easy in general, as we see some of those familiar faces that we saw on that earlier easy 1 pick here for SoCal. So there's a possibility that we could see it, but still gonna need to see 2 unique mods, whether that's easy plus hard rock or hidden plus hard rock. 1 reading mod and 1 hard rock is required from these teams here.
Yeah, JKD or Sean here would be taking either hard rocks. Boombox might be hidden or easy, so we'll have to wait and see. JT Canwell, maybe hard rock, super live, maybe Nomad, the other bubble, hard rock, or hidden. So we'll have to see how it goes for these mod picks.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be other bubble on hidden, JT on the hard rock, and Alv on Nomad could be on easy. And then yeah, as you predicted, JKD probably on the hard rock, Boombox on hidden or easy, and then Sean on the Nomad here. As we are getting into it, it's actually going to be hidden on Super Alv and Nomad on other bubble.
We'll have to wait and see.
Hard rock for JT, and is that hidden easy on Boombox?
Oh my.
And that's either going to be insane or really troll. Because this map is so incredibly hard to get combo with on Easy Hidden.
Yes, but we know, if you know the SoCal team, team is a hidden preference team, if I'm being honest. JKD going in for that hidden for that Hard Rock, and now Toru just having the opportunity to just take hidden for this easy, and we see Sean with a Nomad. So it's going to be an interesting match now. If Boombox or Toru does get a high score on this, India needs to really step up in terms of getting the high scores.
Yeah, and I do believe the score multiplier is already in the client itself.
It is.
So this score gap is exactly what it says it is at all points of this match. And so no misses here as we get into the first KI section. This is where we see some of these back and forth patterns that can really trip players up, especially if you aren't prepared for them or just maybe are having a few shakes, but still no drops on either side. But as I say, that's going to be JKD first to fall on that HCHR, so that is going to completely halt the momentum here for SoCal. But this Easy Hidden SS is pulling so much weight for SoCal, and that might have been a Cancer Curse. I'm so sorry if that was. A slight misread from Boombox is going to drop the FC, and that is going to be a complete score shift towards Indiana now on this SoCal pick.
Yeah, and even if Boombox managed to get 400k, that still would be a million score for that individual. But right now, it's just 3 FCs versus 1 for Indiana. We're now reaching that second KI, and we don't see really any struggles at the moment. But JKD with that miss for that hidden Hard Rock side for SoCal.
Yeah, and this Hard Rock is just so hard to play. Hard Rock players specifically are going to be struggling the most on this kind of remod too. And unfortunately for JKD, this overmod in the hidden Hard Rock, yes, hidden is preference probably when it comes to having to play on the Hard Rock, but it's just not working out for them right now as Boombox going to be finding some more misses. And yeah, this score gap is almost too much already at this point in the map, and there's still just barely a third of the map remaining for these teams to get back into it. I mean, they're going to have to see a complete fall apart for Indiana for SoCal to get this point.
Yeah, and with the length of this map and 300k score difference, but JT Cantwell missing before that last KI and before that break. Oh no!
And Sean drops the final remaining FC for SoCal, and that most certainly is going to be the nail in the coffin on this pick. Very unfortunate drop right before that break. Gives us a little sad face. We all feel the pain on that one, but now it's just going to be all eyes on these two bottom players for Indiana and whether or not they can pull through here with 2 FCs on this SoCal pick. You've already seen 3 breakpoints now with this pick. Is going to be the third one, so Indiana going to be not giving away the consolidation on the breakpoint, and Super Alpha not going to be closing this one out on the hidden FC. Will be missing at the very end, but other bubbles still holding strong, so will we see 1 FC at the very least? I do think so.
Yeah, Super Love, and the other bubble, 2 reliable players to really bring it through for your state, and a breakpoint to keep it close for this match. Okay, I'm gonna throw away something real quick.
Oh, sure, no worries. Yeah, good on Indiana to get back this breakpoint. Really solid performance here from this team. Honestly, an incredible team score, and it's just so unfortunate for SoCal, but I think the easy gambit alone is risky enough on this free mod 2, let alone going something like Easy Hidden. I play a lot of Easy Hidden. This map is not for Easy Hidden. It's just not. It's so incredibly hard to get good combo on it. And yes, it's 2.4x multiplier, but it's just so risky to do. And yeah, we saw it pay off in favor of Indiana there. So now Indiana's going to have a chance to get a consolidation and tie things back up on their own here on their next pick. And you do have to imagine they are going to keep leaning into these Hard Rocks, these double times. They still have double time 1. They still have double time 3. They might be a little bit nervous to pick into just considering that they've lost both of the previous mechanics-based picks versus SoCal, but it's going to be the DT4. This one's a lot less mechanically demanding for this pool. It's going to be the aim control double time, a bit lower on the AR as well, and a lot easier of access for these players. So a bit of a switch up here.
I'm back.
Taking away and leaving away from the mechanics is this Indiana roster, and now going to be moving a bit more into some more aim heavy on this DT4. And welcome back.
And this DT4 pick from Indiana is quite a surprise. This is one of the more easier maps in the pool, actually. So I think already a gamble pick coming in for Indiana. I can see like a 6-way FC.
Definitely a risky one. Yeah, 6-way FC for sure. We've already seen a 5-way on that easy one, almost the 6-way. So on something like this, definitely there is a world where all 6 of these players are putting up full combos, and if it comes down to that, I don't actually know who I would favor in terms of accuracy. For something like the easy, I think SoCal was a clear winner, as we saw on the accuracy department. All 3 players dropping better accuracy, as well as the 3-way FC versus any of the accuracies on Indiana. But for something like this double times, you have to imagine Indiana is definitely capable of getting better accuracy than the SoCal team. And I think that's what they're edging their bets on here, and trying to just keep leaning into these double times picks, keep leaning into these hard rock picks. Despite it not working out yet for them, it's still not a bad pick strategy, because overall their team scores haven't really been bad on any of their previous picks. But they're going to be getting into this third pick for Indiana. JT Cantwell, Shrek Farm, and Marvin Frags versus Boombox, Crucible, and Jakeman. As we see first miss coming out from Jakeman, will get traded out by Marvin Frags.
Yeah, and also Indiana can also lead towards that number 5 pick since it's still open, but right now in his DT4, those other misses wouldn't matter too much. It's all about that finger control, that reading of DT that can really affect the scores coming in. And we've seen a lot of like 2.5 million scores from a lot of teams from this weekend, but there's the break from Toru Inoue. So it's not going to help much for SoCal California, as Indiana is still carrying on those 2 FCs.
Yeah, a little bit of finger control here in this section with the doubles, and does catch up some players right before it. Toru Inoue going to be finding yet another miss on this Ki section, and that's going to be a pretty sizable score lead for Indiana, especially now that Crucible drops one of those FCs for SoCal. I do believe it was a drop earlier from Jakeman, so, and it does get traded out by JT Cantwell and Shrek Farm, but now it's just going to be Marvin Frags versus Jakeman. Actually, I think it was a banjo from Jakeman, and that's going to be a miss from Marvin Frags now in this section, so that's going to completely halt this score lead and actually start to slowly bring the score back over towards the way of SoCal, as there is this 600 combo and Jakeman going completely uncontested.
Yeah, and also those misses from JT Canwell, they were just like over aims on those small spell fights. There goes Marvin Frags actually, and we now see the break, and you now Jakeman seeing his combo mattering more than ever for SoCal to bring this score lead back to them.
Yes, really. Oh no. And a complete disaster from Jakeman after the break, and that's just going to keep the score lead in favor of Indiana, because you have the recoveries building back up on JT Cantwell and Shrek Farm. Yes, Marvin Frags dropped a recovery shortly before, but on the side of SoCal, it's just going to be Crucible, and now down goes Shrek Farm on that recovery. So now it's going to be a 1v1 basically between Crucible and JT Cantwell, and I think with such little time left on the map, this one's probably already done and going to be a point for Indiana, as we see more misses coming through from Jakeman. Unfortunate, not able to hold on to the combo. Most certainly would have brought the score over to SoCal.
Yeah, and now Indiana, with this pick, has tied up the match. We're now reached equilibrium halfway towards this match. We've already seen 6 maps. Now for our 7th with SoCal's pick. I'm not sure what they still have the hidden 3 that they can still land on. Hard Rock 3 is a little bit of a gamble. I wouldn't suggest they would pick it. Also, number 4 is a little bit of a gamble. Pretty aimey, as you know, Indiana has a lot of those aim players that they can lean towards.
Yeah, and Indiana's got a pretty good tech roster too. This week's No Mod 4 is a little bit less technical than I think some of these teams would prefer, but still a tricky map. So could see any of those for SoCal, or we could see them switch things up and maybe lean more into some of the aim picks here, since they are running thin on some of the more reading style maps. Actually, I think they're just flat out of reading maps.
Yeah.
We do technically have the Nomad 5, which is a lower AR, but that one is a precision pick at the CS7, so it's gonna be very risky, especially against this precision heavy favored team in Indiana. But yeah, Indiana tying things up 3-3 off their own pick. A very important breakpoint on that free mod 2 to be able to get their first point win on one of their own picks here now on the DT4.
Wow.
Mod 5 is going to be the option, actually.
For
So this
SoCal
one-
of all teams. Okay.
yeah, this one's risky, right? Because this is just a precision map in the Nomad pool.
Man, that's kind
I
of
mean,
interesting. Like they tend to hover too, but maybe it's just the AR10 that they're not comfortable with. Maybe the AR9 can really help them out. JKD is really good at precision. You just have to hope that they have the consistency to really pull through to get higher scores, because this map is pretty long.
yeah, this is a longer map. The misses matter a lot more, especially towards the middle of the map, because that'll essentially cap players' scores at about 500,000 or less. So you really have to hold on to your combo for as long as you can. And on a precision pick like this, it's really hard to do that. So it's going to come down to I think 1 or 2 players on either team as star performers for being able to pull their team to get this point here. But I'm just not sure who that will be. Probably it's going to be Other Bubble and JT Cantwell, and I honestly don't know the third. I think it would be Super Alf for Indiana, and then of course you see Boombox. You have to expect JKD to come in, and we see Jakeman in here, but I'm not sure if we'll see Jakeman stick around, as we do see Sean in now for this pick.
Toro actually kind of being the surprising one in for SoCal. I would have expected Crucible to be in here, as you know he's their main hard rock carry. So I guess, and he's like more comfortable in the precision. So maybe it's just the AR that could be helping Toro in a way out on this pick.
Definitely a bit easier to access with it being AR9 versus the AR10 if in the Hard Rock 2 precision pick. But again, this one's tiny. It's not even CS7, it's CS7.8. I forgot. It's even smaller than CS7. So yeah, mistakes are going to be amplified if any do get made, and I imagine we're not going to be seeing a 6-way FC here on a map like this one.
Yeah, but fortunately for this map, it's like the jumps are pretty slow enough. Where's the early break? But it doesn't matter for this long of a map. But yeah, the jumps are slow enough for like to lessen those mistakes. But there are some triple ulti parts that can catch people off guard as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of aim in this one, and as you said, they are slower jumps, so it is definitely going to be very important that your cursor is hovering over the note as you get to it. Don't be over aiming or under aiming. You're going to be missing a lot. And yeah, only 1 miss so far here from Sean on the top right of your screen, so it's going to give slight score lead to Indiana, as yes, this is a longer one, but we're already a quarter of the way through, and 50,000 points is pretty sizable, especially missing right again before this first break is going to actually help Indiana further if they are able to continue with these combos.
Oh, but there's the miss from JT Cantwell. Still, Sean keeping on breaking, so it's just 2 FCs versus 2 FCs, but that score from JT Cantwell, but Super Alf just missing on the aim. So now it's just 1 FC versus 2 FCs, so that score difference will be going towards SoCal, but it's still not over yet, as we're not even barely towards halfway.
Yeah, gonna be some more misses here coming out from JT Cantwell. So a little bit of shakes, but down goes Toru Inoue on one of those two FCs for SoCal, so that is going to equalize the score for the time being, as Super Alv has recovered to about the same point that Sean has, and JT is matching Toru Inoue more or less, so 40,000 points is going to be the difference between these two teams, as Super Alv finds yet another miss here before this next singing section of the song, as it's just these two players, Jake Katie and the other bubble on your screen, left with the two FCs.
Yeah, and its score difference for Indiana is just there solely because of their act. It's not really coming towards SoCal, but it's going to slowly come towards it, as we see JKD still FCing at the moment. But there's the other bubble breaking! So now it really is going towards SoCal. Oh my.
That break is really bad for Indiana because JKD is holding, but JKD misses! No, JKD, you can't do that. It's okay though, because JKD has the recoveries on. Never mind, it's not okay for SoCal. The score does go towards the way of SoCal, just barely, but a complete... No, it's not even in favor of SoCal. It's still in favor of Indiana, but those misses are so
JT Chan was still getting that big combo, including Super Alv as well. So now is just that last key out that matters, and if they do miss any time at the moment, it still could be comebackable, but there's no really combo for SoCal to counter.
Yeah, there's time. They just need misses from JT Cantwell here, and I don't know if we're going to see that, because 100,000 points now at this point in the map is going to be really hard to get back, and I do think this is going to be a point for Indiana, so
yeah,
a very close one, just so insanely unfortunate for the misses that came through on both of these teams, honestly, but especially for SoCal, really unfortunate timing. And you have to imagine, and it's also due in part to the fact that this map has so many breaks where you get to see the score and how close it is. It just adds on to your nerves. On top of it already being CS 7.8, like your chances of missing just go up astronomically with each break that we get in the map.
Yeah, and as there are less circles in a precision map with no density whatsoever, it's just all those notes that you hit just really matters a lot for the added score difference. And now Indiana getting their third breakpoint. So now we would hope to see SoCal maybe getting the third breakpoint, but we also want to see Indiana to capitalize off of their own point as well.
Yeah, definitely would like to get a consolidation on this breakpoint. I absolutely forgot that was SoCal's pick. That was a breakpoint. I think the fourth one in this match here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the fifth breakpoint of this match. Indiana winning 3, SoCal winning 2. So yeah, if Indiana is able to consolidate on this breakpoint, then they will be at match point, and that's a terrifying spot for SoCal to be in.
Yeah, but with the maps left, it is all just gamble. Even though they did lean towards that DT3, it is still a gambly map for Indiana. So all these maps that Indiana are picking is pretty scary.
Yeah, I think Indiana's got a lot of options. Only the Double Time 4 has gone in their favor so far in terms of their pick strategy, with sticking to the Double Times and the Hard Rocks. Of course, that Hard Rock 2 getting banned, so they can't continue with the precision picks because there's just not any left in the pool to be accessed. But Double Time 3 is going to be the option here for them, and this is kind of the last tapping pick left in the pool for this team to really go into. So hopefully it's going to be a little bit better than the DT2. I do think it came down to a third player situation for both of these two teams, and for SoCal it was a better third player than for Indiana, but maybe a little bit different since that was the first pick of the match for Indiana, so maybe nerves are a bit higher and maybe a bit more calmed down. We'll see.
And for the DT3, just a burst all around. I would expect misses maybe on slider break, not really towards aim. There's no real aim here, so it's all the consistency that matters here for both of these teams. Who is more consistent and who can really pull through for their own states.
It's going to be a battle between these two, I think, tapping players per team. You've got Toru, you've got Crucible here, and you've got Jakeman for the side of SoCal. For the side of Indiana, we've got Fortisite, Shrek Farm, and Marvin Frags. I believe these are the exact same rosters as what we saw on the DT2. So GLHFs are coming out, and we're getting map number 8 here. This is Indiana's pick. Again, if they're able to consolidate on the breakpoint that they just got on that No Mod 5, then they will be at match point. And for SoCal, if they do end up losing this match, or for Indiana, it's not the end of the world because you are just going to drop into the loser's bracket. But you would like to stay in the winner's bracket for as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, but their next opponent is Georgia, the first seed. But right now, we need to focus on this current match to even think about Georgia. And so far, so good for all of these teams. Maybe a little bit of a knock advantage towards SoCal. Yeah, I would also expect Toro, and yeah, Crucible Toro being in here, this is what I would expect for the main Captain Roster deck. But there goes Jake Man before the first TI. I think that was a slider break coming in for him. So now it's just Indiana having the opportunity to just really capitalize off of this. But there's goes Crucible as well. So Indiana, perfect opportunity here. But there's goes Marvin Braggs before the first TI.
The trade comes through for Marvin Fraggs, so it's going to help nullify a little bit of the score lead that would have been in Indiana's favor if they had the 3-way FC versus the 1 FC on the side of SoCal. But that break from Marvin Fraggs is going to put a little bit of a halt to it. However, given where both Crucible and Jakeman found their misses, Marvin Fraggs is essentially matching one of their scores. So you have one FC going unchecked on the side of Indiana, and there's only half of the map remaining. It's going to be Crucible dropping again for the side of SoCal, so still going to be favoring Indiana, but there's plenty of time left for things to happen where SoCal could get this potentially back in their favor. They just need to see more breaks on the side of Indiana, and right now we are not seeing that.
But there goes the last FC in Toru, and now, before Forteza did trade it off, but there's still the SC from Shrek Farm that you would need to see going miss for SoCal to even have a chance to get this point back. Recovers from Jakeman is good for 600 combo, but it's not enough to counter this 900 and 500 combo. But there goes Marvin Fraggs, but it's still not enough.
Yeah, 300,000. There's just no map left. I don't think you can get 300,000 on your own here. There's a no, I don't think there's enough. Shrek Farm would have already had to have missed, and has not missed. So this is most certainly going to be Indiana going to match point here on the consolidation from the 5th break point of this match, and they're putting SoCal backs against the wall and really fighting for their winner's bracket run here.
Yeah, and real unfortunate misses coming in from Crucible and Jakeman and Toro as well. Crucible maybe struggle a little bit on maybe the aim or reading, but I think it's more of the reading, as maybe the nerves got to him on that score. Not really the score that he wants, but Indiana now match point, and there was the pick too, so no breakpoints coming in, but now SoCal, they need to get their own pick and another breakpoint to go to tiebreaker.
Yeah, is going to be required of them to get to tiebreaker, and then they have to win the tiebreaker to stay in the winner's bracket. So thankfully they do have 3 points on the board, so if they're able to win this one, they only have to win one more of Indiana's picks. But again, it goes back to this advantage that I was talking about of if SoCal wins this point, right, which you would hope they would win on their own pick, hasn't always been the case throughout this match for either team, and it's going to be the hidden 3, but having this advantage of not only being up 2 breakpoints, but also, or being up 1 breakpoint, excuse me, but being up 2 points and at match point, but also having chosen second pick allows Indiana to, no matter what, if they lose this one, they still get to choose the final map that is played before the tiebreaker.
Yeah, SoCal's out. They need to step it up, and for this hidden 3 pick, snap out. There's no real flow out here, you know. So this is a little bit easier in terms of the hiddens that is pulled in this round. Really different compared to the hidden 1. So I would expect maybe Toru, Jakady, and maybe whoever their third is feeling comfortable. Because I can imagine anyone in that team can like play well in this.
For SoCal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Toru, Jakady, maybe Jakeman?
Yeah, Jakeman could also be the fill for this as well. He can play a lot of things for this team. probably like one of their main fill players.
Yeah, Jake Man does enter the lobby. I do think that's going to be their roster here as we are waiting the third here for Indiana. Looks like it's going to be JZ Cantwell. Not necessarily a player that is known for their skill on the hidden mod, but still a player that is definitely able to play some of these earlier stage hiddens to a higher degree. But this is going to be Shrek Farm and the other bubble to round out the Indiana roster as GLHFs come out for potentially the final map of this match. Indiana at match point, and SoCal needs to win this and one more to get to the tiebreaker here. So here we go, map number 9.
Map number 9, an important one for SoCal. So maybe nerves are going a little bit high as they think to themselves that they really need this point, but all that matters really is to support your team as well. Even if you miss, just always think about your teammates.
Yep, it's a team game. You need to have a better team score than the other team. You can't just have one good carry score most of the time, 9 times out of 10. And right now, it's going to be some early breaks traded for both teams. 2 on the side of Indiana, 1 on the side of SoCal. JKD going to be first to fall. Gets traded out shortly after by the other bubble, and JP Cantwell falls right after that. So no trades for those breaks there from Indiana, and that's going to give a slight edge to SoCal for the time being.
Yeah, and this map is just like consistently just snap off everywhere, so there's really no time to just like take a break. But right now, so far so good in terms of act for SoCal. There goes the other bubble again with that miss. And that act lead is solely towards SoCal at the moment, at this 1-4 part coming in.
Yeah, and you know, it's honestly not the end of the world that other bubble finds another miss here, but they can't really afford to give up too many more. Just given the fact that they already missed it so early on as well, it's not going to really hurt their score too much. I think their max could be like 750-ish thousand now, which is still going to be impressive, but they have to hold on to their combo for the rest of the map. And right now, Indiana needs to see some more breaks from the side of SoCal if they want to help stop this score lead that is climbed up to 130,000, 140,000 now in favor of SoCal.
Yeah, and this is what you would like to see from SoCal being like one of the best hidden rosters in this tournament. We are seeing 2 FCs coming in from Boombox, but there, never mind, there goes the Jakeman, but the recovery from JKD is helping Boombox a lot with this score difference. Is still actually maybe favored towards SoCal with that act as well.
Yeah, I would say definitely still slightly favoring SoCal, but down goes Shrek Farm. That was the only FC on the side of Indiana remaining, and that's the entire reset for Indiana. Complete wipe on the side of Indiana, and a complete reset on the side of SoCal as well, but that's only going to be helping out SoCal because all players on Indiana came out of that with no combo, so nobody is there to get this 200,000 score gap back for Indiana, and this is most likely going to be a point for SoCal, keeping them in the winner's bracket for one more map at the very least.
Yeah, but yeah, there goes Shrek Farm again, and we are seeing a lot of recoveries from both these teams, but these recoveries are equalized, so this score difference will not change whatsoever. But there goes those two misses from JKD and Neil and Jakeman. So now there could be an advantage slowly coming in as there is a bit more map for Indiana to come back, but I'm not sure if this is enough for them to get this breakpoint to finish this off.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's enough. There's surely not enough of the map left. There's not enough score left for them to get, just given that they've already had so many misses throughout the rest of the map. Yes, they've got good recoveries now, but you're still getting matched on one of those recoveries by Toru Inoue, and yeah, there's just not enough time. Yeah. 130,000 is going to be about where it ends here, down to 120,000. If there was maybe 200 more combo, Indiana would probably have gotten that back, but
could be, yeah.
It was close, and honestly, a really good team score from Indiana to almost completely take this one on another one of SoCal's picks, but for the time being, SoCal, a little bit of a reprieve here as they get a 4th point on the board, but now they have to win Indiana's next pick to get to the tiebreaker, and then they have to win this hard tech map tiebreaker, which honestly, I don't know which team I would favor. I think both of these two teams have really good tech players, so we'll see if it gets to that point, but for Indiana, this pick means everything.
Yeah, and you did mention that Indiana has a really good tech roster, so that number 4 is still open, but it's still pretty gambly against another good, reading like tech roster on SoCal. So I'm not really sure what they can pick. Me, Hard Rock 3 is still gambly. Um, no one won, really gambly. There's also the Fremont one, but not really the tapping map, in my opinion. So any map they pick is just gamble at this point. So they just have to lean towards what they're comfortable with now in that team sheet.
Yeah, this is going to be really important here for whatever they choose to go with. I could see a world where they go for something just as like a simple Nomad one, because they don't want to risk something like the Hard Rock 3. And it's going to be... They can't...
What? No, I know.
No, that's Jake Katie typing that, and that's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
banned. Threw us off for sure. Threw off
Yeah.
our ref as well because
Yeah. Should be Indiana's pick.
wait, yeah, there's the,
Yes, it's Indiana pick.
there's the realization. But almost
Hard
for
Rock
Jake Katie.
3.
Yeah, and
This
so
is
they are
gonna
gonna go.
be gamble as fuck.
This is one of the hardest maps in the pool. I think
Yeah.
it's in contention for the hardest map in the pool. It's either this or DT2. Would be my bets for being the two hardest maps in the pool. And it even got buffed or nerfed, excuse me, for this tournament specifically to be a larger circle size, and it's still one of the hardest maps in the pool.
Yeah.
And an
man.
interesting pick. I wonder if something like the Nomad 4 would have just been a more consistent pick here for Indiana on this final one. But I don't know. I can't doubt this pick either, because they also do have a team that would be comfortable on this style of map. It's just it's scary into this SoCal team. I think they also have a good team for this style of map.
Yeah, it's all the matter of consistency. This Indiana team, they probably picked this based on their team sheet. You know, they are comfortable with the tech, but this is mech tech, so maybe they're even more comfortable just aiming on this map. So right now, even though they do feel comfortable, they should still worry a little bit on SoCal's roster.
Yeah, definitely need to, and I do think they did give plenty of consideration on this final pick. They obviously took up a majority of the timer for their last pick to make the decision on this Hard Rock 3. So definitely recognizing that this could be a bit of a blunder if they go this way, but landing on this one is the choice that they went with, and GLHS are coming out. We're getting into the final map here in regulation on this match between Seed 8 Indiana and Seed 9 SoCal to maintain in the winner's bracket here. This is Hard Rock 3, and can we see tiebreaker from SoCal?
I would love to see tiebreaker, but right now they would need to focus up on this Hard Rock 3 if they want a chance to compete with Indiana in tiebreaker. And right now, they just need to rely on their own consistency to FC most of the maps to get those high scores in a nearly 5-minute long map.
Yeah, gonna need to see some consistency here. This is we mentioned it before, and you mentioned it just now. It's almost 5 minutes, right? This is the longest map in the normal pool, and it's a difficult one here as we get into the first PI section now. Breaks could be found at any point here, but so far for both teams, none yet. Still going to be favoring accuracy just slightly for SoCal, but good accuracies across the board here. JT can't, well, first of all, JKD does end up trading it, so that's not going to hurt Indiana too much here for the time being, as all 4 players on the bottom are still holding on to FCs.
Yeah, but also that ag advantage is leaning towards Indiana right now. But that combo from SoCal is just like, that score difference is leaning for SoCal because of that combo. But it won't matter too much if there are any misses are coming through. But right now, second Ki coming in.
Yeah, we're on the second Ki here as JT Cantwell still going to be finding some more misses. Now, score gap is still only just 10,000, and that's because the map is so long as it is, but JKD is pretty much matching pack with JT, so that's going to help negate this score lead. I imagine it would be a lot more if the accuracies were a little bit better here, but this is one of the hardest maps in the pool to hack, one of the hardest maps in the pool to combo. And yeah, these 4 players on the bottom of your screen are still holding on to all 4 FCs, but it's going to be in favor of SoCal for the time being off this monstrous 98% hack here on Jakeman, just completely unchecked on the side of Indiana. No player even remotely close to that, so Indiana gonna need to see some fall aparts here from SoCal pretty soon, or else this could get really dicey.
And hopefully with these slow aim doubles, it wouldn't. But there goes Crucible is now 2, but there's the combo reset. Oh no, for SoCal. They're kidding with the 500, but there's all the 2 FCs from Marvin Frags and Shrek Farm.
And that's
Third Ki coming in.
That's a complete that's a complete shift in momentum here for Indiana now, as what was a 40,000 point score gap in favor of SoCal has turned into a 50,000 point score gap, and climbing here for Indiana as we get into one of the hardest sections of the map, the solo section, as the 2 remaining FCs end up dropping. Now, Shrek Farm and Marvin Frags not able to hold on for any longer, and JKD on this huge recovery is getting matched for the most part by JT Cantwell, but down goes Jake Man on one of the recoveries for SoCal, so that's gonna put a stop to the negation here on the score gap that was going back the way towards SoCal, still slightly leaning towards SoCal, but for the time being, gonna be in favor of Indiana.
If JKD wants this, if SoCal wants this win, JKD needs to really step up, maybe even FC the rest of the map to even get this back, and maybe see JT Canwell miss. So we will have to see. There goes the supporting combo of Shrek Farm. Now is really just a 1v1 on JKD and JT Cantwell. Neo Blizzard 24, Crucible with the recovery helping, but there's also Marvin Frags. So this score difference is slowly going towards SoCal.
It's still gonna be looking at these 2 players on the right side of your screen here as Marvin Frags drops one of the recoveries for Indiana, so now JT Cantwell really truly has no help for the time being, and the score gap does finally flip over to SoCal once again. And right now, it's gonna be these 2 players keeping JT Cantwell at bay, and could really come down to anything here on the end of the map, as we see more misses coming out from Marvin Frags. Still gonna be looking good on the side of SoCal, so for the time being, down goes Crucible on that massive recovery, so that's step 1 for Indiana to get back into this, but they're gonna need to see something happen to JKD, and I don't know if that's going to happen, but she's just holding on.
Yes, all that matters is this 1v1 from JT Cantwell and JKD. We're seeing them. Well, JT Cantwell did miss earlier, but JKD going full set on that FC right now. We're approaching the end. There goes JT Cantwell. We are seeing a tiebreaker between Indiana and South California. Will JKD finish this off?
Yeah, and that's a full reset on the side of Indiana. Complete fall apart here on the end of the map, and a very gamble pick for the final pick of this match. We're on tiebreaker here. JKD closing this one out, 1600 combo, 90% accuracy. Accuracy be damned, doesn't matter. Still gonna drop this monster of a score here to get SoCal to this tiebreaker. Finally finding another point. Gonna maintain their winner's bracket run for a little bit longer, and you have to think that they feel pretty good about this tiebreaker given their performance on that Hard Rock 3.
Man, but have you ever seen cinema like this? 650k FC to bring this point for SoCal, to bring it to tiebreaker. Oh my god.
Not quite the FC, but still an insane score. Yeah, reverse choke.
Reverse choke, yeah. I thought it was an FC because, oh man, pressures are high.
Yeah, it's all-time here for these 2 teams. One of them has to exit the winner's bracket. This is Seed 8 and Seed 9 in round of 16 that have to exit the winner's bracket here, and it comes down to the tiebreaker at that. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 breakpoints here. No, 6 breakpoints in this match. And it's just been so incredibly back and forth. A complete disaster here for Indiana. I think they were up 5-3 and just ultimately weren't able to close it out before getting to this tiebreaker. But right now, it's up to SoCal. They've got the momentum. They got 2 points back to back. So despite Indiana being down 3-1 at the start, they got their 4 points and then immediate momentum stop from SoCal. So this one could go either way.
And just the stream ping for the tiebreaker of Indiana A and SoCal A. So, streamer, I got you with that announcement ping. But damn, they're in timeout right now. As for rosters, I would imagine they're like most consistent players in for this tiebreaker, as this is pretty aimey and like techie near towards the second half of the map.
Yeah, I think for SoCal, it's going to be probably Toru, JKD, and maybe Crucible again. Could be Jakeman. I'm not sure on the third. For Indiana, it's probably going to be Shrek Farm, Other Bubble, and then maybe Super Alv?
Yeah, maybe Super Alv, because he is one of those consistent players. I remember facing against him in OCL in a tiebreaker for the grand final spot. But yeah, he can perform well in these high pressure environments. But I would also maybe assume that Toru Inoue could be in here, JKD as well. And maybe even Jakeman. Maybe Jakeman would be good for SoCal for this tiebreaker.
Yeah, I'm thinking Jakeman rounds out the third there. But you have to imagine it's going to be Toru Inoue and JKD for the other 2 slots here on SoCal. But this is such a good match here. To everybody who just joined us from the C stream, welcome. Just to get you guys all caught up here, Indiana started this one off losing 3-2, or yeah, Indiana was 1-3 and then won 4 points in a row. There have been 6 break points in this match, and SoCal brought it back from 3 to 5 to get this to tiebreaker. So it's been a very back and forth match throughout this one, and a lot of break points. So we will be getting into this tiebreaker here very shortly, as yes, it should be free mod for the tiebreaker. We might see some hiddens on this map. I was able to get the replay for this, and I found that hidden just felt better for me personally. So definitely could have some hidden preference players like Toru Inoue choosing to go with hidden. But yeah, it's gonna be JT Cantwell, Super Alvin, and the Other Bubble. So no Shrek Farm here for Indiana. Just need to see that third player for SoCal.
Yeah, I might see JKD in for tiebreaker. She is there. She is. She might even go for the hidden as well, as she is also a hidden preference player with Toru Inoue as well. So that score multiplier will help them just a little bit, but your consistency matters so much more in this high pressure environment.
Yeah, and this is a hard tiebreaker. This is like 6 minutes of just heck, a lot of jumps. There's a pretty heavy aim element to this map, and a lot of these like weird doubles that players are gonna have to tap and not slider break on the slider that comes after the first note. So a lot of tricky spots that could easily trip up some of these players, and we are getting into it. Tiebreaker now for these 2 teams. One of these teams will be moving forward in the winners bracket to play against Georgia. The other team will be dropping down in the losers bracket. So everything here is on the line, as we already see a very early miss come out from Other Bubble.
Yeah, but with that length of 5 minutes 20, those misses won't matter too much. It's all about those potential misses in the middle of the map, and maybe even at the last part of the map. There goes the early misses from Super Alv and JKD, missing on those flow aim parts, as this isn't really your typical consistency map, as there are some kicksliders, some tech parts, some mech tech parts that will maybe throw people off guard. But if with this close of a matchup, I would imagine both teams practicing this tiebreaker.
Yeah, I would hope both teams have practiced this tiebreaker. You have to imagine that these teams were prepared to go the distance, just given how strong these teams are at their different skill sets. But it's going to be Jakeman finding the a second break here for SoCal. So that's going to put a stop to the score lead despite the early misses from Other Bubble and Super Alv. Down goes the recovery combo on the Other Bubble as we get into some more of these slider jumps here. So could see some more misses come out from any of these players, but for the time being, still looking strong are the remaining combos here from the side of SoCal, from the side of Indiana. And yeah, first pause of the map 19,000 is going to be the score difference at this point, and all the players can see the score difference too, so there's a couple more pauses, a lot of room for nerves to really start to take over for either of these two teams, especially with it being winner's bracket tiebreaker. But here we go, first Ki.
Yeah, first Ki, and they just finished through that for the streams, and now it's going to get a little bit more mech techy now, and we no misses coming in, and those the ag advantages towards SoCal is going towards them, but actually it's maybe that hidden multiplier that's helping them a lot with both players of JKD and Toru Inoue going hidden.
Yeah, definitely helping a little bit here. It will start to help further more combo that they're able to hold on to, with it being 1.06 multiplier on hidden. So it's going to be pulling them into the score lead, and now it's Super Alf dropping on that recovery. It's going to help SoCal even that much further, as there's no trades to be seen. Finally, down goes the last remaining FC on the side of SoCal. Toru Inoue going to be falling right about in the middle of the map. That's probably the worst spot you can miss, because that immediately caps your score at 550-ish thousand. If you're playing no mod for hidden, it's going to be about 620,000. So that is horrible for SoCal. But luckily enough, JKD's on this huge recovery, and you've got Jakeman on this huge recovery. So it's just going to be trying to match JT Cantwell and other bubble here.
And also, that act is really good for Jakeman. And honestly, the average act on SoCal is really good as well. But now we're reaching these slider spam, not catching people off guard just yet. 88k score difference is gonna help SoCal a lot. But if they really want to solidify this, they would need Indiana to miss. But the same goes for Indiana as well.
Yeah, gonna need to see some misses from either side if they want the score momentum to start shifting, as we do see a drop from JKD. That was one of the highest combos on the side of SoCal. Gone now, so it is just going to be on Jakeman for this massive combo that they have to keep Indiana at bay, but it's gonna be rough. They see now that JKD has dropped the combo. They see that JT is still on the FC. They see that the other bubble is on this massive recovery. Down goes Jakeman on that recovery, and that's gonna be a complete score shift now for Indiana, as JT Cantwell and the other bubble are still holding onto their combos. Super Alpha is on the 600 recovery, and Boombox is matching it. Toru Inoue is matching it, but there's no one matching these massive combos on Indiana.
Yep. And they did see their break, they did see their combos. Now it's just a matter of if they can close this out. But those nerves must be really high at the moment. That score difference is just barely going higher at right now. So they really need a combo, but there goes the outer bubble breaking. And there goes JT Cantwell. This score difference is still comebackable for SoCal.
Yes, it's absolutely comebackable here for SoCal. The recovery's there on JKD now. JT Cantwell dropping that FC is going to be the last FC to fall in this match. A very unfortunate spot to miss, but still going to be a pretty impressive score. But yeah, 45,000 is very doable, especially with these combos from SoCal. If Indiana wants to get this, they're going to need to keep seeing breaks and not get breaks of their own, but it's going to be trades here for JT Cantwell and Jakeman now. So it's going to only be helping out SoCal, as these misses are just continuing to help them. But down goes Toru Inoue again on the 1,000 combo recovery, and that's going to send the score lead back towards Indiana. Super Alpha is still on this massive 1,300 combo recovery. Ends up missing on the stream, but so does JKD.
Oh my god, there's no combo left but the other bubble with the 500, and it's just gonna go towards Indiana, as there's really no part left, no more map left to really counter this combo. Oh my god.
And that's gonna be it. Indiana wins this match 6-5 here on the tiebreaker, and what an insane match this was. Again, 6 break points to get to this tiebreaker. There were 6 breakpoints. Indiana was down 1-3, won 4 points in a row, and then lost the next 2 points, where SoCal was able to bring it back to tiebreaker. And so unfortunate that SoCal gets knocked out the way that they did. They put up such an impressive performance, such an insane team score, but at the end of the day, Indiana just outperformed them and will be moving on in the winners bracket to play against Georgia A.
Unfortunate for Toru Inoue and JKD to miss on just that last crucial Ki. And Shrek Farm just holding through just enough for his team. But yeah, congrats to Indiana, JT Cantwell, the other bubble for KZ, Super Owl, Shrek Farm, and Marvin Frag to make it to quarterfinals winner bracket to face against Georgia. That's going to be an exciting match, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely going to be exciting. But as for us, I do believe that's going to be it for right now. There's going to be some more matches here coming up, if not already started on other streams. So pay attention to the stream announcements channel to keep up to date. But we're going to cut the VOD here for VOD's sake for uploads. So yeah, thank you so much everybody for watching. Thank you so much Delaney for the commentary and Rytogen for the stream. And yeah, everybody take care and stay tuned for more matches. We've got plenty.
Have a good night, guys.